This is a Mount Vernon School Talk Editorial, March 30, 2008. My name is Charlie Stern. This week, the Mount Vernon Board of Education discussed the superintendent's proposed budget for the 2008-2009 academic year. The board is scheduled to vote on whether to accept this budget at its next meeting on Wednesday, April 2, and it must adopt a budget no later than April 9. The facts about this budget are coming into sharper focus, and it is not a pretty picture. The estimated tax rate associated with the proposed budget is 9.8%, and even a contingency budget, and that is to say, a statutory maximum budget that would prevail in the event that voters say no on May 20, would be 6.11% estimated. So right now, the difference between a contingent budget and one that actually provides the district an acceptable degree of control over educational outcomes involves between 3% and 4% additional tax rate percentage points. Although I would have preferred to include several key program enhancements that do not appear to be included in the latest draft, there is no question about it, the superintendent's recommendation is the right choice. Should the proposed budget be defeated by voters, it is extremely likely that class sizes will increase district-wide and all non-mandated programs would have to be reviewed. The district would not be in a position to waive fees for after-school programs and summer school programs. Block scheduling at the high school would come into question, and more. It is under the contingency circumstances that foreign language instruction, assistant principal positions, art and music classes tend to be cut. In short, it would be a horror, and it would be a devastating blow to public education in Mount Vernon. That is a position that would be indefensible to me as a school board trustee. So why is the cost of running Mount Vernon's public schools escalating so aggressively at the very time that the regional and national economies are declining? On the local level, there are several culprits. Salary and employee benefits combined represent about 75% of the current budget. The cost of salaries and health and retirement benefits are impacting our budgets in a significant way. The district absorbed an unexpected $1.6 million write-down as a result of the weak internal controls around the adult education program that was ultimately dismantled this year. And a third contributor is tax certiorari. Tax certiorari continues to dog the district. There are millions of dollars in pending claims, and to date we have not set aside a reserve fund to address these judgments. Beyond the city limits, the problem is that Albany continues to pass its budget problems on to local taxpayers. Consider this quote from On Board magazine. This is the Journal of the New York State School Board Association, March 10, 2008, from a state legislative conference hosted in Albany, March 2nd. State Senate Majority Leader Joe Bruno says, quote, "We're approaching a $5 billion deficit, and that creates pressure." Unquote. The pressure he's talking about is on local property taxpayers. He said that in front of 200 school board members at the conference. One of those school board members was our own 12-year veteran of the Mount Vernon School Board, Lynn McBride, who said, quote, "I think it's more than a one-year problem. I think the trend is, unfortunately, tough times ahead." Unquote. I agree with what Lynn is saying. Dr. Sawyer, our superintendent, and his team have devised a financial plan that puts appropriate limits on class size, prescribes a full teaching load for all teachers, something that we have not historically enforced here, and for the first time in recent memory, structures an allocation formula that level sets the distribution of human resources across all buildings. The overarching goal of the superintendent's budget is to increase direct services to children, and that is why I will support his recommendation. I have serious concern that it may not be realistic to expect people to accept this steep tax rate increase against the backdrop of recessionary news, the mortgage crisis, and declining home values. However, the alternative represents only a few percentage points less and would have a chilling effect on the quality of the program we're delivering to students. The board is scheduled to decide on the budget Wednesday, April 2 at 6:30 p.m. and must make a decision no later than April 9. Voters will make their decision on Tuesday, May 20. My name is Charlie Stern. This has been a Mount Vernon School Talk Editorial.